Stephen Bishop, are you ready?
Oh, yes. I'm more than ready to put these balls on the table. I actually brought my balls
Yes!
to put on the table.
Oh, hell yes. With us in the studio today is a former professional baseball player turned highly respected actor, known for his work in Moneyball, Imposters, and Being Mary Jane, bringing that discipline and competitiveness and lived experience from the field into grounded and authentic performances into film and television. This devoted dad takes a seat at the table. First guest to bring us anything to put on the table.
Now, there's significance here.
Okay.
I'm a baseball player from childhood. I'm a baseball coach now. I'm a golfer, and I'm a girl dad. So these are the balls that have influenced and shaped my life. And now they're on your table.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
I love this kind of prepreparation, man.
Yeah.
That's like, I appreciate that.
You
gotta do the work.
That's a great bridge to, we're going to bring this up, discipline, man. We have a mutual friend who laid the bridge to having you on the show. So we're grateful to Jeff for that. But I asked him, I said, tell me a little bit, not much, but what was he like? And he's like, he outworked everybody. He out-hustled everybody playing baseball in high school. I'm sure you do that. I'm sure you bring it to your work, to your daughter. So talk about that. Like, where'd you learn the discipline?
Wow. Well, I was fortunate to be brought up in baseball by a lot of really solid men. John Capelli was my first Little League coach when I moved to California. Unfortunately, I don't remember my Little League coach in Chicago's name, but when I got to California at 8 years old, John Capelli was my coach, and he coached me for several years. So there was some discipline taught there. But then when I got to high school, and a little bit before high school, when I moved to Moraga and met Jeff, Moraga is a huge baseball town. The area, La Miranda, Lafayette, Moraga, Orinda, is a huge baseball area. We've had Olympians. We've had guys, play in the big leagues. My Legion team was a team composed of the top 3 high schools, all the high schools in our area, Acalanes, Campolindo in Moraga, and Miramani in Orinda, and then a few guys from other high schools like Alhambra and things like that, all together in the summer.
Oh, wow.
So, it was, and Campolindo, we won in the 80s. We won our conference every year.
It's elite Legion teams.
It's an elite Legion team. We played for state championships. We had first round draft picks. We had, like I said, Olympians. We had guys get full rides to Stanford, Cal. I mean, it was a baseball mecca.
Cool. Yeah.
And one of the things that was taught there was hustle, discipline. I mean, it doesn't take any talent to hustle, to play hard. And that was what our coaching was about. Hard-nosed baseball with fundamentally sound, with attention to being fundamentally sound. And, when you're a new kid and you're different, you have to stand out and you have to break into an already existing community of players.
So because you had moved from Chicago to NorCal.
When I had moved there, I was living in Fremont, so I had to break in there. Fortunately, when I was in Little League, I was very good at baseball. I was very good. But when I got to high school, the field grew, and I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet. So and I moved from Fremont to Moraga.
Okay.
At 12 years old. So I had to break into that community of baseball players as somebody new. Somebody different. I was one of, at that time, 2 black kids in the entire school. So it was different. And so I had to show the coaching staff and the players that I was willing to play hard and do whatever I needed to do to beat everybody that was trying to play my position.
Yeah, earn that spot.
But then the hustle became a habit, and it just is who you become. You don't have to try to do it anymore. It's just who you are.
That's right.
Because it takes you beyond a lot of players. And then you're there, and it's like, well, this is what gotten me here, and this is who I am. So now it's just an everyday thing that happens, and then you
Program
continue to ascend, and before you know it, you're looking back at people that you were at one point neck and neck with.
When you were in high school, were you getting recruited, or was it in college then when that started?
That started in college. I hit a growth spurt junior year in high school, and that was already, I had a situation in high school that still I don't understand. My junior year of high school, I actually got cut from the team after hitting over 350 my first 2 years on JV. That's a different conversation. And
that's crazy. That's a really good average.
Yeah.
For back-to-back years as a starter. And then I got cut. Weird. But I got brought back senior year and won the Mr. Clutch award. And then at that point, it was too late for me to start getting recruited,
right,
because they start recruiting junior year. So I went to junior college and got recruited by a lot of teams. I got a lot of letters when I was in junior college, because at that point I was starting to lift weights. I had grown. I still had my speed. And so colleges were starting to recruit me. And UC Riverside was actually the team that I ended up signing with and got my ride there. And that's when it really took off. Doug Smith was our hitting coach. Jack Smitherin was our head coach. Doug was the guy who recruited me out of JC. And he was, I didn't have a great JC career. I had, I think, 255 career average in JC, which is not good. But I happened to have a really good tournament when Doug was there recruiting another guy on our team. And he came to me and he was like, listen, I understand what's happening here. I don't care if you hit a $180 for the rest of your career here. We're going to offer you a full ride, because I know what I'm looking at and I know what I can do with it. So I went from a 255 roughly career average to my first year at 4-year college, 362, leading my team in hitting, leading us to a college World Series.
Which are draftable numbers. If you're hitting 350 and up in college, they're looking.
And we go to the College World Series. I'm all conference, first team, all regions.
How exciting is that?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And, we ended up taking third. So that is a lesson. A lot of the environment and who believes in you, foster what's going to happen. Yeah. Because this guy, all he did was, this is a matter of months from hitting 255 to 362, maybe 6 months later.
Gave you that confidence, and you helped. You did the work, but it helped allow you to recognize, I'm going to elevate. I've got this guy believing in me, and that's all I needed.
And he taught me things, though. That's another thing.
Did you ever have a coach, any coaching along like the span of your career in baseball, even from Little League, who really made you doubt yourself?
Yeah. The coach that cut me junior year, but my mom says.
Did you send him a thank you card when you got drafted?
Oh, I definitely, because we were a small town. So I saw him again. I'd go back home and he's there and we're at baseball functions and things like that. So I saw him again. It was, my mom says I'm the most tenacious person, that she's ever known. So him cutting me, for a second it made me doubt, but I had been so good for so long that it was more a him thing than it was a me thing.
Yeah.
And it made me say, oh, okay, the fire is lit. You're going to regret that. I'm going to make you face that one day. The person that made me...
And you did.
And I did. The person that made me doubt but also lit another fire was my dad. When that happened, he said to me, well, maybe you're just not good enough. Oh. And I was like, how fucking dare you? Okay.
Did you say that?
No, when I probably went to my room, I probably said it, but
Yeah.
I didn't say it to his face.
Right.
But it definitely flipped a switch.
You already had the fucking
like,
spark from the coach. Your dad poured gasoline on it at that point.
was like, oh, now I'm a maniac. Now I'm in the gym. Now I'm the guy that has, stolen a key and made a copy of the key to the cage. And I'm in, me and my
I've never heard that. It's amazing.
me and my roommate in college are while everybody's hungover from Saturday night partying after our series ended, me and my roommate are up and under the tunnel hitting on Sunday morning. I became a maniac at that point. It was like I was not going to be denied, because that was one of the guys who brought me up in the game, coached me, and I think he knew what he was doing. I honestly don't know that he really meant that.
It was a psychological tactic.
It was psychological warfare.
To pump you up.
I'd never have asked him. And now that we're having this conversation, I'm going to ask him, I think, did you really think that? Or were you just trying to motivate me?
Yeah. Let us know what he says.
Yeah, I will. Because it was crazy. But again, the junior college coach, though, there was doubt there, because that was another level. That was, coming from high school, you got cut, you had some good seasons, but now you're playing against guys who are all good in high school, and you're not having the greatest time of it here. You're showing flashes, but baseball isn't about flashes, it's about consistency. So that, and he was cool, but I wasn't one of his guys. You know what I mean? I wasn't one of his favorites. And, looking back on it, I mean, why would I be? I'm hitting 250.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell my son all the time, hey, listen, bro, you say that this coach or that coach plays favorites. Well, let me tell you who's his favorite. The guy who's showing up every day and raking. If you do that, you'll quickly become the favorite, and you won't have to have these conversations anymore.
It's good advice. It's true.
Did Field of Dreams have any impact on you?
I loved it. I don't think it had any impact on me.
Just as a
You go out in the
as a
cornfields
dreamer,
and talk to
as
yourself?
like it did. It like I like.
Did it have a
there
big
were
impact
scenes
on
from
you?
that movie I memorized.
Oh, I mean, it
yeah.
was
They
a
were
great
like, I was
movie. I mean,
so-
as a baseball player, it was you have movies that you watch and you're like, oh my God, that's just a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what year Field of Dreams came out. Because
89?
Are you sure?
I think it's
I'm not, but
Yeah, is this going to be one of those
some-
things on the thing where at the bottom it
Yeah.
says
Yeah,
Field
and
of
then
definitely
say
Dreams came out?
Here we
Evan's
go.
an idiot, Evan's wrong. It's actually 1990.
That's
yeah.
right.
Well, if it came out in 89, then it wouldn't have had any impact on me because I was already 2 years into college at that
Okay.
point.
Right.
I was already who I was going to be. But,
Right.
pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicknames in baseball are amazing because you
Yeah.
got your teammates are in the dugout or they're on the field and they're, amping you up when you're in the
Yeah.
batter's box. And
Mine called me Baby Justice.
Baby Justice, that was your nickname.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Before, this was when I was in JC.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
and how crazy that
Yeah.
art and life become one and imitate each other.
Oh,
and
the
later on,
David Justice story is nuts. They said to me, hey, one of my teammates, hey, did you watch the Braves game last night? We were in the Bay Area, so because the Giants and the Braves were on every night
That's
on
right.
TBS, and they were playing the Giants, and I was like, no, why? They were terrible at the time. I'm like, why would I watch the Braves game? He said, go home and watch the Braves game. So that night I went home and, ladies and gentlemen, the batter, right fielder, number 23, David Justice. And I look, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is my doppelganger. So I go to practice the next day. I'm like, Coach, I want to change my number. I got a new favorite player. I want to, And then I went to a Giants game when they came back to play the Braves at home, and I got to BP, walked down, waved David down. He comes over and he's looking at me like, holy shit, this guy is my doppelganger. And so I'm telling him I play, and they call me Baby Justice and everything. And I ask him, he gives me some gloves, gives me batting gloves.
That's great.
So when I get to Riverside, I use them, and I have a 22 game hitting streak with his gloves. And I'm written up in
Baseball's so
baseball.
psychological.
Oh my gosh.
So,
cool.
you know, the Baseball America write-up and all this, I go to the game again. And I say, hey, David, I had a 22-game hitting streak with your gloves. Like, can I get some more gloves? And so, you know, we're cool. He's like, oh, man, that's fantastic. Fast forward about 8 months later, I get signed by Atlanta and go to spring training. And I show up and I immediately walk into the big league clubhouse. And I'm in street clothes. And I see Dave and I'm like, Dave, what's up, man? You remember me? He's like, oh my God, yeah, I remember you, but what are you doing in here? Like, are you supposed to be in here? How'd you get in here?
Yeah, do I have a stalker?
And I'm like, no, I'm signed. I signed with the organization. He was like, oh shit. He's like, you really play? I was like,
Wow.
Dave, I told you I had a 22-game college hitting streak with your gloves. He said, no, a lot of people say shit.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you
But you
really
actually
play?
did it.
Yeah.
Put his arm around me in the big league clubhouse and he said, hey, this is my little brother.
Wow.
You treat him like you would treat me.
That's
And then
amazing.
he walks me over to the minor league clubhouse and tells the clubby, who is in charge of giving us bats and all our equipment, hey, this is my little brother. Make sure he gets the best bats, the best everything.
How does that feel?
Oh,
Amazing.
I mean,
Like,
I've got
what
this
are you
fucking
just like-
guy's.
yeah.
I got this guy's
I mean,
poster on
you
my
went-
wall.
dude,
You went from 6'3" to 6'4" in a second.
Right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's
So, you know,
feels great.
Yeah.
So it felt great because, I mean, I've got a superstar
Yeah.
taking me under his wing.
Right.
And, you know, giving me little hints about BP
Yeah.
and all of that. So it was
You've had
amazing.
those
I
things,
had
man.
the-
Like with Chris Cornell. I was just
yeah.
gonna say, you know, Tony's an amazing musician, and you've toured with some of the best in the world. And when guys like Chris Cornell or
He calls me up and he's like, hey, I'm playing Conan O'Brien.
You're-
You and me. You play piano. I'll be on guitar.
how
And I
did
was
that
like,
feel?
Dude, you know,
Yeah.
he was my hero. You know, it's just that's
Yeah, when you get those types of moments, it's just like
I never
you
had
know,
those guys.
You feel like it's serendipity. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
God is looking out. He's put
Oh.
you know, he knows what you do.
Yeah.
He's put you in a position where the universe lines up just perfectly for you to.
except for the fact that I fucked up on Conan O'Brien.
Well,
that's
see,
funny.
that's not God. That's you.
And then I got this
That's
tattoo
not God,
to remind
that's
me
you.
that I'm human. And we played Imagine, John Lennon, but we played it in a different time signature and we rehearsed it and everything. And then when the curtain was opening, I played it the original way, not the way we had rehearsed.
Whoops.
And I saw Chris looking back
Like, what are you-
like this. He's just like, and I realized in that moment, and I switched to what we had rehearsed, and I'm just panicking. We finished the song. It's the end. It was the end of the set, so it was like Conan O'Brien, Bill Hader, Andy Richter, and they all come up, and Chris like even acknowledges me, like he's such a class act. And then we're walking back. And I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, no, it's all right. I think it's going to be okay. And we watched it in the control room. And they only have a certain amount of time before it airs in New York, right?
So did you go record it again?
So he was like, no, I think it's going to be fine. And we watch it and we get to the point where I switched from one time signature to the other. And he goes, we got to go again. And they're radioing down, don't keep everything, keep the mics on the piano and everything. And we had to go again. And I just remember feeling so much shame, and like I was like a professional. I thought, oh my God, you know, he called me for a reason, you know, and
Shit
but
happens,
he was
man.
so generous.
If you're in that position, first of all, you're nervous more than likely. And you're thinking about notes and key and all of that, and you're like, okay, this is the song, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot we changed it.
It was almost like that. I was so confident that I was like, I got this. It's Imagine. It's an easy song to play. It's like da-da-da. And I think I'm crushing it. And then to realize, fuck, man.
He's looking back at you, and you're like, awesome, right?
But
Not
no,
awesome.
but back to I wanted to kind of like now go into the pivot of like what that looked like from baseball
acting.
into acting. You know,
We're sitting across from a guest who you've achieved both, man. You got to do the initial dream, the thing you believed in, and then you found a pivot to Tony's point, and then found success in that. And that's rare for a lot of people.
I got to sniff the dream. I didn't get to realize the dream. I got really close. I got close enough to touch it but I didn't, I never got to play in the big leagues. I got very close. I believe, and there are people who were in scouting and player development at the time that would tell you they believe I should have played in the big leagues, but shit happens. And so I can't take that credit. I did get to realize the dream of getting paid to play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's still a piece missing to the dream. So I got close enough to really look at it, see what it smells like and touch it, but I couldn't grasp it. But then this one I have achieved that dream where you're in a movie, or you have a career at this. One of the things that you've done in the career is you're in a film with a guy that you looked up to as an actor.
Yeah.
You playing your teenage idol in the film. You're playing opposite guys that are, Oscar winners, and then the movie goes and gets 6 Oscar nominations.
We got a problem, David?
Nah, it's okay. I know your routine. It's pattern. It's for effect. But it's for them. All right? That shit ain't for me.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Moneyball
Yeah.
and how that came full circle with the David Justice component. So you auditioned. How many times did they make you
I auditioned
read for
4
it?
times for that. 3 regular in a room audition, and then 1 baseball audition. I went in the first day, and what's your baseball experience? And I told them, college pro. I said, but I actually know David. I've known him for 20 years. And so I know his mannerisms. He was my idol. So I know him. And I say all that to say there's nobody on earth more prepared to play this role.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Unless you get David.
Right.
Which obviously you're not doing, or else
Right.
I wouldn't be here. So he's like, oh, the director was, Bennett Miller was in there, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. So we go back, and he's like, did you tell David you're auditioning for the role? I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell him until I get it. And he's like, oh, okay. So then we have the third one, which is the baseball one, and I have to go hit left-handed, and I'm a right-handed hitter. But I have to try out as David Justice.
And Justice has a very specific swing.
He's got a
He had
very-
beautiful swing.
But I knew it.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
again, the guy's my idol. So I have
Yeah.
spent a lot of time, and I grew up, and I'm sure you did. If you said you were a ball player, we grew up in the era of wiffle ball,
Oh, yeah.
where me and my buddies used to play a game called All Star, where you would be the American League, I would be the National League, and we would have to play
That's right.
their lineup,
That's
the
right.
All-Star
Yes.
lineup, and we would have to hit like them.
We didn't go that deep. I fucking wish we would have.
Like, we would have to
version
do
of,
like
like-
Joe Morgan. We would have to do the.
I did, dude. I did
Yeah.
play.
You
I
know.
did play Bucky Dent on a series with John Turturro years ago in my 20s.
Like I said, you're good with the bat, Buck. Oh, you missed a pitch on the suicide squeeze. That happens. Nobody's fault.
And we got to do 3 weeks of baseball camp, which was a dream for me. And I was the only actor that they left out on the field for the 3-inning simulation
Yeah.
with all pro ball players who had made the show, AAA, AA coaches. And one of the actors goes, "Hey, Evan's still out there." And Mike Roboto, who played for the Mets, was like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
let's go play ball." And that was like, I got to sniff the dream for me. But I had to hit like Bucky Dent, who had one of the dumbest, fucking worst stances in baseball I'd ever seen.
Wasn't he like crouched way
Crouched
over?
down, and his weight was it was lopsided. He didn't generate a lot of power, so he was
Yeah.
like a single hitter,
Yeah.
and like a sacrifice hitter. And I'm like,
I copped Dwight
gotta
Evans.
hit like this
Dwight
guy.
Evans was my with the, because I was
Yeah,
Boston Red Sox. I
That's
grew up
right,
outside
you were-
of Boston.
yeah,
so
you get your Bill Buckner
grew up
story.
going to Fenway Park. That was my.
well,
yeah.
and the Red Sox hate Bucky Dent because
Yeah.
in the 1978 World Series, he hit one over the Green Monster that like
That's right.
sneezed over the wall. But
So-
dude, let's jump back, Stephen. To so you're auditioning, you got to hit
Got
left-handed.
hit left-handed. So that goes well.
wow.
Chad Kruder, who was the head coach at USC at the time, the tryout was at USC. He was the technical advisor. So he was out there, and he knew David. He had played with David, and he saw, he was the guy making the judgment, and he was like, no, he's got it. And so I go back for the 4th audition in room, and they just, I read again. And right before that audition, I was with my acting coach, Sarah Mornell at the time. And we worked on it right before I was going to go in. And then I'm like, how crazy would it be if they right there on the spot were like, Steven, you got it. And she's like, well, look, they don't do that. They don't, in the room they're going to go over tapes and all that. And they're going to call agents and all that. So I was like, okay. So I go in there and I read, and Bennett says, well, we're going to go ahead and offer you the job in the room. And so I was ecstatic. As soon as I got in the
great
car,
feeling.
I was like,
Visualization, it was like you were putting it out there.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And so I immediately got in the car. Sarah, you're never going to guess what happened. What happened? They offered me the job.
That's
in the
amazing,
room.
man.
So cool.
Those are really rare.
Yeah.
It says I don't know what it was like working with him, and you can tell us, but I think it says something about the director Bennett too, because man, actors, we talk about this, they go through so much rejection, not knowing, waiting, you don't hear anything. But even if you know you got the role, and they know they're going to say, we're going to hire Steven, but we still got to do all this and this, him having the confidence and the integrity to be like, you're going to get the role. Because you get to leave like with the celebration.
It's the only time it's happened in my career that they've told me in the room that I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
That I've gotten it. Which was fantastic, because it's to this day the best job of my career. I mean, like I said, acting opposite guys who are legends in the game, playing my idol at the as a teenager, playing in the uniform that I grew up going to games and watching.
So you were an Ace fan growing up, yeah.
Playing in the Coliseum, this is a perfect storm for me.
Yeah.
I'm getting to play baseball in the uniform I grew up watching, in the stadium I grew up watching it at, opposite a few guys that I've watched forever, playing an idol. Doesn't get any better than that in this game.
Good for you, man.
It was Moneyball was an outstanding experience. I still have friends from that I met on the set there. Steven Sapp, Royce Clayton, Art Ortiz, who played Xavi. Royce Clayton played Tejada. Steven Sapp played
Royce Clayton, like an actor or the real ball player?
the real ball player.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember having Royce Clayton's rookie card.
Yeah, he actually played Miguel Tejada in Moneyball, yeah. And then Steven Sapp played Mike Tucker. He ended up, unfortunately, he had the greatest ejection scene that you could imagine that ended up on the cutting room floor. It was so outstanding, though. He got rung up on a strike three, threw the bat down, argued with the ump, and got ran. And it was perfect, because Steven Sapp is now also one of my closest friends. He was a pro ball player too, so he knew all. That was the good thing about Moneyball, which one of the reasons I think Moneyball is the best baseball movie made. Everybody on the A's and on the other teams was either a D1 player or a pro.
Right.
So the baseball was authentic as it gets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was one of the things that I think they did really, really well about that. And that's one of the reasons why they had so many auditions. I mean, there's 200 guys at this tryout at USC.
Yeah. Seeing who can hit, seeing who can't.
Wow.
I mean, but these are all guys who played college and pro baseball. So it was a great.
It was not that experience on The Bronx is Burning when blessed a lot of those actors. I was like, dude, he can't even run. He's running out of the base path.
Yeah,
that's you hold the bat this way. I was like, you put your hands together, and we had fun, but that's going to make it more authentic for sure. Yeah. And this was a long time ago. Moneyball was what, 2011?
2011, yeah.
Yeah.
So
there you go. You won't
so
have to put that.
it's going back to like discipline, and the discipline that you apply playing baseball, and the discipline that you apply to acting. What are where does that overlap? How does that overlap for you?
The discipline is a little bit different, because with acting, you don't want to overtrain it, because then you start making decisions and choices that seem stilted and not natural. But the discipline to, no matter how tired you are, get up, do the work, learn the lines. We'll deal with the emotion of it. When we get to the trailer in the morning, you learn the lines, so you know them backwards and forwards. Don't really spend a lot of time on how you're going to do it. Just know what you're going to say.
Like tone and cadence and like that kind of stuff.
Don't spend a lot of time on that.
Right.
But the discipline of staying ready physically, I've had a lot of roles where I've had to be, shirtless on camera. So staying in the gym when you're not working is the discipline.
Right.
Staying sharp like that. But the mental discipline of being able to fail and not have it define who you feel you are is exactly parallel. I mean, baseball as a hitter, if you're great, you fail 70% of the time.
It's true.
And you can't let that bother you.
Right.
As an actor, you audition 20 times, you might get one job. Audition 10, you might get one job. So you're a 90% failure.
Right.
So you have to, be disciplined enough to figure out how to, just like in hitting, find victories in what is a lot of people would perceive as a defeat.
Right.
As an actor, in an audition, did I do my best work in the room or on the tape?
Mm-hmm.
Did I do good work? So you have to figure out what you're going to do to make yourself psychologically still feel like you won so that you can continue with confidence.
Yeah. And
That's
how
a
do
good
you
point.
apply that discipline both to being a dad?
Oh, wow. It's a complete, those types of disciplines are, for me, they're not even in the ballpark of the discipline of being a dad. Being a dad, the discipline I have is because the love that I feel for my daughter was immediate and hugely profound. So it was no matter what now, everything I do is for her. And I no matter what happens, I have to keep doing my job. Because I'm responsible for her, and she's gonna look to me, to take care of
For
this
everything.
I think
For
our
everything.
daughters are about the same age.
My daughter's 8.
9. Yeah.
And I think our daughters have the same name.
Oh yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Shout out to Charlie.
With an
So
I?
I'm right.
EY.
Oh, mine
Yeah.
is just L-I.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But
Mine's
still.
LEY.
Yeah.
okay. Charlie.
Yeah. And
But-
what are some of the things that you are doing to make sure she turns out to be the best woman she can be, the best version of herself?
I'm communicating with her like an adult.
Yeah.
I'm my thing with her is I'm always going to be honest with you about what you're doing, good or bad. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. In sports or whatever, if it's great, I'm going to tell you if it's great. If it's not, I'm going to tell you it's not, and we can improve, and here's how.
Yeah.
I'm a baseball coach as well. Now, I still coach baseball. So her older brother is 19 now.
Okay.
My stepson, Caden. My daughter's mom's son from a different relationship. Okay. But I had him since he was 6 years old, 5, 6 years old. So,
You raised him.
yeah. And so I always had to be honest with him. And what I have to teach Charlie is that the way we become good at sports is being honest with ourselves. And this is something I tell all my kids and all my players. You have to be honest with yourself about who you are right now. Doesn't mean you're going to be the same person next month. If you work hard enough, you can make changes, but you have to be honest about where you're at right now.
Great advice for an athlete who wants to improve.
And if you're honest, you can do what we all should be doing, is understanding our strengths and our weaknesses, and then going and working on our weaknesses until they become our strengths, and then we have no weaknesses. She doesn't like to be told when it's not great. Me being a pro and a coach and all that is only a source of frustration when it comes to her, because I know that.
Right.
And I constantly tell her that. I'm like, you have to separate daddy from me as an athlete. No.
What's her sport? What's she into?
Soccer.
Oh yeah.
Soccer.
Oh, cool.
And she's, I've had her into golf. She's actually a really good golfer, but she's becoming really.
And you're a good golfer yourself.
I am a good golfer.
Yeah.
She's becoming really good at soccer. She, her mom is a college basketball player. I'm her dad, and so she's a natural born athlete. My whole side of the family is Division I athletes.
Yeah, dude. We do some themes. We invite our guests to choose from a list, and you pick one, and we'll dig in. We'll delve in. If something tickles your fancy there.
That's the one we want. That's the one we want.
No, there's just so many. And all of them, I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that either. All right, I'll go with bad decisions.
Okay. So we're going heavy now with Steven. We're going with the fight that changed everything and bad decisions.
Oh wow.
They kind of go hand in hand. That's good.
They? Yeah.
So bad decisions. How do we learn from those? How do those look after we make one? We're men. We've all made them.
Well, first of all, life is all about decisions and choices. And each one is a crossroad that can lead you to a good place or a not so good place. And I think that, we all make bad decisions at some point. Hopefully we've been taught by our parents and we're teaching our kids how to make good decisions so that we limit the amount of bad decisions we make. But when you make one, I think the key is admitting to yourself that you've made a bad decision and trying to find the most effective course to reverse it if it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Damage control. Decision is made. Is there anything that can be salvaged from this situation that can mitigate the consequences of the bad decision that I've made?
So give us an example, if you can, of one.
Oh, wow. It's been a while since I made a bad decision.
Well, that's fucking good.
One thing about me is that I try to think about things before I do them. And I've been this way for a long time. I walk it out mentally. How's this going to work out?
Right.
Okay, this is going to happen. And then that's going to happen. And then that might happen. Okay, wait, no, we can't risk that. So let's reel it back in before we make the decision, which is how I've, by the grace of God, been able to keep from making too many terrible decisions.
Good, man.
One of the bad decisions that I've made is giving someone an opportunity to continue to violate me.
Mm-hmm.
Because of, out of love for that person or whatever, compassion, empathy, whatever it may be. Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time, and I think that there were some times in life where I stayed in situations that I shouldn't have too long. You know what I mean? And those decisions ended up causing other consequences that if I hadn't, stayed or let that person stay in my life, I wouldn't be down that road now.
Yeah.
So
Romances in particular, often with men. Friendships, of course, family, but like romances.
Mm-hmm.
We stay in them for the wrong reason and we put up with things. And it goes for both sides, men and women, but
Yeah. Jeff and I made a bad decision when we were in high school.
Yes.
We
hear it.
we broke into our high school gym and had a party with beers and girls and all of us just sitting around in the middle of the gym drinking and partying and
like late night.
Oh yeah, on a weekend, like 11 at night, broke in and the cops came and took us all to the police station.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
Parents were called.
Parents
That's a
were
bad
called.
decision.
Fortunately, my mom didn't follow follow through on her lifetime threat of you better not end up in jail because you're going to stay there.
Oh, okay,
She
good.
came and got me, Thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. But, that's a decision that still to this day is in my memory. Yeah. So.
All right, so that's so. What if you want to share? What's the one fight? The fight that changed everything, and that could be like, what did I learn? What did I immediately recognize that I don't need this, I don't want this, or the fight that changed everything because I gave the worst version of myself possible.
Are you talking about a physical fight?
Could be anything.
Emotional,
Yeah, it could be
physical,
physical,
fight with an
yeah.
ex, fight with. I mean, I've had fight's a tough word. It could be a disagreement or an argument, but I had one moment with my daughter that where I just completely lost my temper and scared her and hurt her. And when I reconciled it and processed it over many days and with the therapist and vowed to never have that happen again, and thankfully it hasn't, but that was the thing that changed everything for me, where as a parent, patience and respect, and imagining what that would have done to, at the time, 10-year-old me.
That's something similar happened with my daughter. I think she was 5 or 6. And we got into a fight where she just wasn't listening. She just, we were at a basketball game, and for some reason she was upset after the game, and she was supposed to go with me because her mom and I were already split,
Mm-hmm.
and she just didn't want to go. And for some reason, I don't even remember the reason. Because we've gotten past it, and that was the part of the changing everything. She threw the biggest tantrum. She was screaming, making a scene in the parking lot at the game, and I just kind of stood there and looked at her, and was like, "What is wrong with you? What's going on here?" And I tried to will her to change her mind and come with me. And she just wasn't going to. And in that moment, I realized I have to let her be who she is.
Mm.
And I have to allow her the space to have a differing opinion and communicate with her to try to figure out why she's feeling what she's feeling in that moment. Because after a while, I started getting upset and angry, like you said, and it was I found myself trying to manipulate her with, okay, well then you're not going to get this, instead of realizing that she was human and finding out what she was feeling that was causing her to act this way. So from that point, the communications with her became about, okay, listen, what's going on with you? Tell me. I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know where you're coming from. And
Could she articulate it? It's tough at that age.
At that age, it didn't happen. That age, it was just, I just left and was mad. And, the weekday practice or the weekday game or whatever, I still hadn't spoken to her. So I just went to the game, watched the game, and left the game without saying anything to her. And, it was vindictive on my part, and I realized that it was vindictive in the moment, but I was trying to teach her something. Like, when you hurt somebody's feelings, there's a feeling there for them, and I wanted her to understand how it felt to have me there. But, number one, I'm always going to be here, whether or not we talk or not.
Right.
So I wanted to show up for her, and I wanted to show up for her regardless of the circumstances that we were in, but I also wanted her to know how I felt. So when I left without saying anything, she felt that.
Mhm.
And so now she understood how it felt. So I was teaching her empathy. I'm here, but I want you to feel how I felt in that moment so that we can understand each other. And now you will understand how it feels to put somebody in that position because you have been put in that position.
Mhm.
And even though I know that it was hard for me to do that and it probably wasn't the right thing for me to do, I felt like I had to do it because she needed to know, she needed to learn empathy. And I feel like as people, if we don't have empathy, we don't have shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes and feel what they feel. 2 weeks ago, she went through a tough soccer game. And at the end of the game, she was very upset. And I said, Charlie, I know how you feel. I've been there. I was just this way when I was your age. And she said, well, then put yourself in my shoes. She got it.
Mm.
She asked me to have empathy.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Beautiful lesson, man.
So as hard as it was for me to see her and not speak to her, the lesson was taught. And I haven't had to do it again. You know, and once we saw each other again and talked about it, and I told her that's what I was doing, we hugged it out. She felt everything. It changed everything. Now we're able to communicate. Now I've given her open lines of communication.
That's great, man.
And
That's the
you
well,
know,
there you go. That's
man,
the one that changed everything.
You really got me going because I deal with similar things with my daughter as well, and something we've talked about a little bit before is the repair and how we do that repair, how we show up, and how quickly we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I've tried to spend. I've taken a lot of time to work on doing the repair faster. How does
listen, she's
9?
9. Okay. So one thing that I've done with my daughter is, I mean, I'm sure we all have unconditional love.
Oh yeah, I'll slash somebody to pieces if they hurt my dog.
One thing that I'm very stern. If she's out of line, she's out of line, and you're going to apologize for it. And I'm here, but there's a little wall here.
Yeah.
Until you come to your senses and apologize. Immediately upon apology, I pick her up, I hug her, I tell her I forgive her, I love her, and it's okay. You know, that's where the repair for us starts.
Yeah.
It starts immediately.
Yes.
Because
great.
I need you to know that no matter what you do, you can get mad, you can say all kinds of stuff, you might get in trouble, but that doesn't change the fact that I love you. And as soon as you realize what you've done, we're moving on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm not going to do that to you. I want you to know that you can always come to me. You're going to make mistakes. I understand you're going to make mistakes. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get frustrated or angry at something.
Yeah.
But what is going to happen is as soon as it's figured out, it's done. We figured it out. If it's your fault, you apologize, I pick you up immediately. If it's my fault, I'm going to go to you and I'm going to say, hey, listen, I apologize. And anytime I have really, I've yelled at her,
Of course.
I apologize to her. Hey, listen, I apologize for yelling at you. You have to understand this, or this. But I apologize for yelling at you or getting upset or frustrated with something like, I want her to understand. I try to apologize to my daughter as much as possible when it's appropriate because I want her to know first of all, that it's easy to do, and it doesn't diminish who I am as a person or as a dad. And it's, for me, being able to admit you're wrong and apologizing to somebody is a character thing,
Change behavior is the only apology. I mean, dude, accountability, teaching your kids, that's the repair. Like whether your daughter or your son's trying to manipulate you, because kids are innocent, adults are not. They're more fucked up. They learn that pattern and then they apply it as an adult. But when a kid is a kid, they're trying out the things to see what's going to serve them the most. So the quicker the repair, the better that kid is going to be as an adult, and they learn right away. Like my dad does love me. My dad did teach me this lesson, and it fucking hurt, and it was hard.
I've known people who struggle to apologize and admit they're wrong, take accountability, things like that. And for me, it's a character issue.
Yeah,
it's a character flaw.
And they never learned it. I believe, because I think you can learn just about anything if it's shown with love, empathy, and unwavering consistency.
But at the same time, how difficult? I mean, clearly,
this is a great topic, man.
We were wrong, you know. What I mean?
But it is difficult for some people, which is wild.
That's wild, but it being wild doesn't excuse the fact that we're full-grown adults and we need to be able to repair relationships.
Yes.
Because if you don't, somebody's just going to go down the road broken.
Yeah.
Because you haven't repaired it. And they keep looking at you like you don't have enough in here to just say, hey, listen, I thought about it. I realized I was wrong. My bad. I'm sorry.
Right.
I apologize.
It's true,
And the
man.
weight
Some people
that's
don't.
lifted,
Some people really struggle.
Yeah, the weight that comes off when you do that is actually
Right, because
it feels
a lot
really
greater
good.
than
the other
you
person
think it's going to
feels
be.
good.
Yeah.
The other person that they feel seen, they feel like you cared enough
Yeah.
to realize that you may have hurt their feelings or done something that bothered them, and you care enough to say, hey,
Yeah.
I don't want your feelings to be hurt. I don't want you to feel that way. I
That's
realized,
more powerful than holding on and fighting,
Yeah,
right?
and who
You
holds
know?
on a lot? Kids.
Yeah.
But then they realize the moment that they let go and they do apologize, and then they see in their dad or their mom that they forgive them, they have that feeling of warmth and support. And they go, oh, well, that's all it was. It wasn't that scary.
which is exactly why I immediately pick her up.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about as soon as she
Physical touch.
I don't say, okay, so what did you learn? What did it? No, Daddy, I'm sorry, I acted.
Yeah, let's come on.
Yeah.
Come in for a cuddle.
There we go.
Sometimes she'll be like she's not ready, and I'm like, come on, and it changes, right? And I'm like, come on, get in here.
Yeah, bring it in. Come on.
Yeah, physical touch, man. My brother and I, we had wonderful grandfathers, but we had Tony knows the story. We had a really difficult father. And I'm not riding on that as a victim. It just took me a lot longer to learn certain basic lessons because I didn't have him as a guide where he couldn't take accountability. He couldn't take ownership. So when you're witnessing that as a kid, you're like, well, which is it? What am I supposed to do? And it caused some damage in my life in romantic relationships because I struggled to take accountability, or I'd half-ass the accountability to hurry it up, along.
In the spirit of that, I would like to know what you think, what you hope your daughter grows up and what her idea of a good man looks like.
I just want her to recognize somebody who's got character, who's got integrity. Ever since she was 4, I've been telling her, what is integrity? Doing the right thing even when nobody's looking. What is leadership? Are you a leader or a follower? That kind of thing. But somebody with integrity and character, somebody that has no problem whatsoever admitting that they're wrong. And that's something I learned from sports. And I tell her, I said, listen, you're going to take losses, but what we want to do is we want to get you to the point where you win way more than you lose.
Yeah.
So that taking a loss is no big deal. I learned a long time ago to not talk about things that I don't know. And if I have to say, hey, listen, I don't know this for sure, but because nobody likes to be wrong. You know what I mean?
But nobody likes to know it all either.
Nobody likes to be wrong. Nobody likes to admit that they're wrong. Nobody likes to know it all. But especially when that know it all is fucking wrong. But I say that I don't like to be wrong, so I don't talk about things that I don't know that I'm right about.
Yeah. Domain expertise.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not my domain expertise, so I can't speak on that.
I love to say, man, I don't have an opinion on that.
but I have an opinion. I may not be right, so don't quote me on this, but I think, but that allows me to say, hey, listen, I was wrong, okay, I'm right way more than I'm wrong. So it doesn't bother me to say I'm wrong. I'm not the first time I'm wrong, not the last time I'm going to be wrong. I'm wrong. You were right. I was wrong. I love saying that because I just learned something. Hey, you know what? And I do it to my daughter all the time. Hey, you know what? You were right. I was wrong.
Do you have a good group of like guy friends? Like, do you do guy hangs, like stuff like sort of like what we're doing, but like,
not as much anymore. Not as much anymore. I used to, but now that, everybody's dads and we've all got separate lives and everything, we talk all the time. Right. And my best friend, Mike, is up in the Bay still, and I go every year to play a golf tournament. This will be like our 18th year in a row playing this golf tournament together. Jeff is my oldest friend. I met Jeff when I was 12 and our first day of high school. Wow. And, we've been friends ever since, and he's friends.
Give us some dirt on Jeff.
Jeff is Jeff.
Go get it. You can throw him under the bus.
No,
let's go. We love Jeff.
Listen, there's a thing.
Love you, brother.
Jeff is the nicest. I saw you guys talking about his dad, Dangerous Dan Forney. He was the nicest guy. I heard Jeff say it, and Dan was the nicest man I've ever known. Jeff got a lot of that from him. And, he's very laid back. He's very spiritual. And he's got this kindness about him, Jeff, I'm talking about. But don't get that shit twisted. Jeff will fight in a minute. Right. There have been altercations.
Really?
When we were
I don't think I've ever had one.
Young.
I've never had one with him. So what does that look like?
And I don't mean us,
no.
But
yeah.
He'll throw down. He'll throw down.
Oh, I see.
Jeff is no punk. And
right.
he, as soft as he seems, and as he can come across,
he'll get up.
He'll get after it.
Yeah.
Again, we've been through it all together. We played baseball together. We've played golf together. We've had fights together. There's a time where Jeff had an ottoman in his living room growing up, and we came home one night in high school. We had kids don't drink until you're of age. Yeah. But we didn't follow that advice.
Good advice.
And we came back. We were both drunk, and we woke up on either side of the ottoman, on our knees, bent over, heads on the ottoman, sleeping.
What?
Like a Sunday morning cartoon.
His mom came and woke us up.
Oh no!
Like in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning.
Oh,
we're like,
God.
So
passed out on
conversation
we were sitting across from each other on the ottoman, kneeling down on the floor across from each other,
and you guys then put each other to sleep.
Went out, and his mom woke us up.
Zimas and Budweisers.
That's really adorable.
That's really adorable.
So yeah,
not for Mrs. Forty.
Right. No.
So we, and I don't do a great job of keeping up with Jeff around here. We live, close, and he's always one thing. He's the guy that is the glue to our group. He's the guy that's going to reach out to everybody. He's
amazing like that.
And be like, and I've been a dick. I've been, busy being a dad and trying to have my career, and we're gonna go to lunch after this, actually.
Nice.
Oh, good for you guys.
And he's been trying to do the hang, and I've been. I just told him about your. You talking about Jono?
We're not. No, we're breaking the fifth. We're not only breaking the fourth wall, we're breaking the fifth wall.
Yeah.
We should talk about Jono.
Let's talk about Jono.
For context,
John was like this bipolar hippie that lived in our town or something.
No,
Well, for context, Jeff Forney, seasoned guest and wonderful loyal friend of ours, has just joined. Well, I want to ask you, Stephen, moving away from Moraga. Sorry, guys, to your fun stories back then. Something in your life that you're not putting your energy into right now, something in your life that you're not putting energy into that you think you should be or that you want to.
That's a good question. I think the one thing, because I'm like I said, I've cut down a lot of my interactions socially to focus inward, and be a dad and be career driven, and so I think the one thing, I think I just mentioned it, like staying connected with my friends. You know, especially Jeff. Jeff is, like I said, he's the glue that keeps our friends group together, and he reaches out to hey, let's go hang. And I'm like, man, I got Charlie to, and I haven't been putting as much energy into relationships as I could. You know what I mean? I've been putting my energy into my life and my daughter's life, and I think that the thing that I could do better at is, staying connected with friends.
It's a good answer, but I also respect where you're at too. We talk about like not being leaky with your energy. Really, like, it's vital. It's as we get older, we have less of it. We have less time, less energy. So
yeah, I'm at a place in my career where I'm so close to being over the mountain where, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, I'm good. Charlie's good. All right, let's play. Yeah. But I'm not there yet.
Right.
I'm still so close, but I'm saying, okay, I got to stay focused. We're not getting younger. We're right at the edge of it. So let's stay focused until we push through, and then hopefully everybody is still around,
still texting to hang out,
and still texting to hang out, and not being like, yeah, fuck you. You couldn't even hang out for lunch.
You couldn't even hang out for lunch. What do you think men, any generation, our age, guys younger than us, what do you think that they can benefit from right now? Is there something out there that they can truly benefit from to level up?
I think focusing on their health is a big deal, and fitness being first and foremost. Staying strong, staying fit clears a lot mentally. You feel lighter, you feel more disciplined, you feel better about yourself. And I think that men also should talk. We hold a lot inside, like, and a lot of it we all go through. Like certain things that you guys have said, I realized today, oh, wow, I kind of went through the same thing. And, when we first sat down talking about where we are with relationships and things like that, I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel exactly the same. Holy shit, we're all going through this? Yeah. So if guys talked amongst each other in their friends groups a little bit more, I think we would all benefit from that, because we would realize I'm not alone in this. I don't have to deal with it with just me and God. I can, I have sounding boards, guys who have traveled the road ahead of me.
Yeah.
I think we're going to wrap up because this has been fucking epic.
You guys actually got freaking tears out of me.
And me.
Oh, dude, it's been a pleasure. We loved having you here.
Who thought? I didn't think of that was happening when I drove over here today.
Nobody did.
You definitely put your balls on the table.
You did.
All three of them.
Yeah, you did, man. Your daughter, and I say this with a lot of love, your daughter would be incredibly proud.
Well, that's all I hope for. She's made me extremely proud, and I hope one day when she's older she can, look back and be like, yo, my dad was that dude.
Stephen Bishop, dude, you can take those balls back off the table.
Put them back in my pants.
Thanks so much to our guests and listeners for today's show. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Balls on the Table on YouTube and on your favorite podcast platform. And drop us a line at ballsonthetable.com. This episode was produced by Taylor Hart, co-produced by J.K. Da Silva and Dean Gonzalez, edited by Dean Gonzalez, shot and captured by Artie Fatehi, music by Antonio Bellavo. That's Tony's fancy name. Special thanks to Christy Kelly, Joachim Horsley, Jason Brahms, and Brandon Morgan. We'll be back soon to talk about all the things men need and what Tony and I want to talk about.